Considering everything the world has been through in the last 2.5 decades, the mood of ambition and optimism that greeted the arrival of a new century can feel like a distant memory. But there are still plenty of Millennium projects that are up and running and going from strength to strength, and this building behind me is one of them. This is the Millennium Seed Bank established by the world-renowned Kew Gardens as part of its global plant conservation efforts, and which is currently celebrating its 25th birthday. The Royal Botanic Garden, to give it its proper title, was opened in 1759 and claims to have the largest and most diverse botanical and mycological, that means fungi, collections in the world. Not only is Kew Gardens an international centre of scientific excellence, it is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is a hugely popular visitor attraction, famed for its winter illuminations. It even has its own police force and an 18th century Chinese-inspired pagoda. The Millennium Seed Bank is not at the Kew Gardens site in West London. It is here at Wakehurst in Sussex, about an hour outside the city, but it plays a vital role in Kew's conservation work.
You know, back in the 90s, we'd started to experiment with applying techniques which were used in agricultural seed banks to wild plants. And then we proved that concept by collecting the UK flora and showing that it did work. And then from 2000, that's when we started this international phase of the programme, kind of sharing that experience with the world.
The seed bank contains around 2.5 billion seeds from 40,000 species all over the world, gathered and logged by 297 partners in more than 100 countries. One of those partners is the Kunming Institute of Botany at the Chinese Academy of Science in Yunnan province.
We've been working with GBOS, the gene bank in Kunming, since the early 2000s, and we actually helped them with the designs for their current facilities, and we've had since then a really productive relationship.
The initial project target was 10% of the world's wildflowering flora, which we did collect on time and under budget by 2010. So we take our seeds out approximately every 10 years to check if they're still alive. These are from Mexico, and then in the Asparaceae family. And so we will design our tests to match the climate conditions of the origin of those seeds. Certainly, and we do have collections that are actually extinct in the wild. So there's no more wild living populations of those seeds.
When they started, only 10% of plants were threatened with extinction, whereas currently that's now 45% of plants. So just in that time frame, that is how rapidly the impact on our natural world has accelerated. And all of those solutions, I feel, sit within this seed bank. Yeah, no, it's fantastic that we're celebrating 25 years of the Millennium Seed Bank and its partnership now. And we've got a range of really great events happening. One is that we have a new podcast coming out, Unearth, The Need for Seeds, and it is hosted by Kate Blanchett, who is Kew's ambassador for Wakehurst. So there's going to be 3 episodes that look at the past, present and future of the seed bank, and Kate takes listeners on a journey with her as she's discovering about the work we do here.
A lot can happen in 25 years, and the world and environment in which the Millennium Seed Bank now finds itself operating is radically different to those in which it came into being. Challenges, expectations and the ability to deliver them have changed vastly over the last quarter century, but there is no suggestion that the next 2.5 decades will be any less demanding. And that is why the work being done at Kew and here at Wakehurst is more important than ever for the whole planet.